Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Touch Tales, Stories Behind the Hood. I'm your host, Frank Vargas, aka Traveling Frankie. Here we are, and in fact, I'm going to let my guest tell us where we are because I'm going to put her through the test, making sure she remembers exactly where we are and why we're here and the whole thing. But I have PJ Calhoun, a very good friend of mine. Can you give me your hand and just kind of say hi?
Hi. So sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. It happens all the time, actually. PJ, thank you for taking time and just sitting here with me and sharing a little bit of what we're all going to learn from you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Now, I know you pretty well. There's a lot of things that I know about you. There's a lot of things that I don't know, of course, just like anybody else, right? And I'm excited to maybe hear another side of the story that maybe I haven't heard before by the way I ask these questions, and we'll find out. And for those of you also to know who PJ is. Now, let's start with where you're from, PJ.
Houston, Texas.
So, are you born and raised there, or let's start from scratch? Like, where were you born?
So I was born in Lafayette, Louisiana.
Okay.
Lived in Shreveport till I was about 15, and then moved to Houston.
Okay. Why the move to Houston?
My mom was moving to Dallas, and I did not want to live in Dallas.
Okay.
So I went to go live with my dad in Houston.
Gotcha. And we'll get to know who her mom is. You know, she's known in the industry as well, and this is why PJ is here, because she's been in another side of the industry, and now she decided to go to the other side of the table, and we'll get to that. Now, 15, you moved from Louisiana all the way to Houston. How was that change? You already had been in Houston enough because of, I guess your dad was there or something like that, so you already knew what were you going to go into?
Yes, a little bit. This is the first time that any of us kids had lived with my dad after they separated.
All right, and here you are at 15. That's kind of like, you know, when we are old rebels and we're kind of learning to be a mess, really, because there's no other way of putting it. How was that transition now with your mom for all those years? You don't want to go back to LA or whatever it is that your mom was, Dallas, I think? Dallas, yeah. So now, how was that? How was that transition?
It was very weird because we've always lived with my mom. So when I went to go live with my dad, it was almost like he was excited. So then I got spoiled with things that my other siblings didn't, because then of course they still lived with my mom.
Siblings, how many?
There I have 4 other siblings.
Okay, and let's go through their. Where do you rank when it comes to the age group?
So I am the middle. I have an older sister that she lives in Costa Rica, and she's 42.
And her name is?
Ashley.
Okay.
Then Kelly.
Okay.
I have Kelly. She lives in Atlanta, and
these names are sounding familiar, right? Yeah. Okay.
And she is 36.
Okay.
Then me, I'm 34.
Okay.
My younger sister Caitlin is 33, and she lives in Tulsa. And then my younger brother Trey, who's 30, lives in Keller, which is right outside Dallas.
I don't know why these names sound familiar. So, who is your mom?
Diane Calhoun. She is the Director of Events and Marketing with the AIWD.
Okay, and so what is the AIWD, since you just mentioned it?
It's the Association of Independent Welding Distributors.
Okay, and I know that Diane has been part of this association for many, many years. Diane has been a guest before while we were in Hawaii, so she was gracious enough to just spend half hour with me as well. Now I get to have her daughter, PJ. Now, PJ, you have helped you've helped the group for many years. So on and off, how many years were you there helping your mom backstage with everything about AIWD?
11 years.
11 years, right?
Since 2013.
Wow. And aside from the buying group section, what else have you done in your life? Like before you even knew anything about welding or a buying group or all that stuff, like what were you doing before?
I worked in property management.
Okay.
And then I had also worked as a senior events manager for another events company.
Gotcha. All right, so that kind of helps, you know,
Yes.
to what you were going to be doing and helping your mom with the AIWD group. Now going back to 15, 16, what were you into? What kind of girl were you? It's a simple question. I don't know what. Yeah.
I was a party girl.
Really?
Yes.
Alrighty.
So.
Was that something that you grew into it, or like from early on, 13, 14, like you kind of knew, like, oh, I I like the scenery out there. I just want to be out there.
Yeah, I was between all of us kids. I was the party one.
Really?
The party child. Yep, I sure
Really?
was.
Wow. Oh, that's weird. So now 15, you're in Houston, and now I guess you could say that since you were 15, you've been in somewhat in Houston.
Yeah.
How come you stayed in Houston for so long?
Just the friendships and the relationships that I grew from being there and working in various places.
Gotcha. And being part of what we call the welding industry, AIWD to be exact. When your mom first asked you, hey, I can use your help and all this, or however that happened, did you even knew what any of it was?
Absolutely not.
No?
No. I mean, I have had friends that have been in the welding industry, but never really got into what it consisted of.
And when you first came over, first show that you helped your mom, and now you are seeing all these people in this event and helping her with whatever it is that you were doing back then, what was your impression of this bubble of the industry?
I never really knew how large it was.
Okay.
How large. It's so big, but then it's so small at the same time, if that makes sense.
No, 100%.
Yes.
It is a niche industry. It's big. It touches everything in the world. You know, welding, there's nothing that you go anywhere that some sort of welding is not involved, right? So building and seeing this, how was the transition throughout the years? Like, what's one thing that you've learned, let's say 11 years in, having access to seeing distributors, creating these relationships, and also having friends, creating friends in this industry. What's the one thing that you can say that you liked the most about that side of the industry?
Ooh, that is a good question. Oh man. Besides creating relationships with
Sure,
people, or
yeah.
including that?
Including that. I'll make it easier, including that.
Okay, yes, thank you. Definitely the relationships that have been created, but then I guess just realizing how much welding is needed.
Yeah.
No matter, just like you said, no matter where you go, what it is always going to be needed.
Yeah, no, for sure. What were you doing at the shows? What were you helping your mom with exactly?
So it was always the back end, the registration, making sure everybody got registered, doing the food and beverage, doing the site visits, going to look at the sites, making sure that we had the space that we needed, the room blocking for the hotels, reports created, helped with golf a couple times, and stuff like that, yeah.
And I know that all the other siblings also help, throughout the thing. Like, slowly they all kept kind of coming in, I guess. It wasn't like all of them at the same time. Like, oh, maybe you can help with this, maybe you can help with that. So it became almost like a family. Well, it is a family thing.
Yes.
And definitely it's nice to see, for some of us that have been involved for so long as well, to see the dynamics and how all that happens and how you guys make it work and all that. Which now leads me to the next set of questions, which she's laughing because she knows probably where I'm going with this. And I know that after all these years, and I love your mom, I love your family. I've been lucky enough to get to know them, and you guys are awesome. And I call you a friend as well. You have decided to kind of change path a little now. Like, you are venturing into the other side of the table, and so tell me what just happened.
So I just joined the Uniweld Family Group as the regional sales manager.
All right, and did you ever think that you were going to work on this side of the table? Pretty much what some of us do, some of the friends that you've met throughout the years. Did you ever see yourself on this side?
Honestly, no, I didn't.
No?
No, I did not.
But I'm sure that throughout the years, probably some people have come to you or others and say, hey, have you ever thought of this side? And because of how you guys are, because just been exposed to us and so on, so it's just natural that those opportunities are just natural. And I'm sure that they came to you throughout the years here and there. What is the one thing that you think you can bring from now, what you've done for the buying group, that you can bring to this side of the table and use that experience to help a Uniweld as a company or any other company out there doing what we do on this side?
I would say forming and creating relationships, I think, for sure.
Yeah.
And then maybe a little bit of selling too.
Okay.
Just a little bit, not too much. But yeah, some of that, but definitely creating relationships and customer service, because I know that is a huge deal as well.
Correct. It's so part of it. And I know you have a son, right?
Yes.
How old is he?
He's 6.
Yeah. Oh, did you see
Yes.
how the tone, the face, the eyes, everything's like, yeah, he's 6. What's his name?
Mason.
What is he into?
Baseball.
Oh, yeah.
Riding bikes.
Okay.
Nerf guns. For sure.
And he also wants an iPhone 15, right?
Yeah, an iPhone 15. And
tell me this story, because you told me this the other day and I was laughing too. So why was it that he made that comment the other day?
So because his birthday was July 16th, so
Yeah.
he was creating his birthday list, and he told me that he wanted the new iPhone 15. That's what he wanted for his birthday.
A 6-year-old already knowing what that even is, right? The latest one. Even the mom doesn't have that one, right?
No.
Yeah. So, these kids nowadays, it's amazing what they do. Now, what was your answer? Did you get it?
No, absolutely not. I said, absolutely not. You're not going to have a better phone than me. Then I ordered the iPad, and he thought that I had ordered the iPad for him. The newest iPad. Had to tell him no again.
Do you spoil him a lot?
I spoil him. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I guess this is where those questions are coming from, right? Now, the whole traveling part now, because you know that you have been exposed and you have seen some of us, you've heard conversations with some of what we do and how much travel is involved in a position like what you have now. And I'm sure that you have put all that in a balance, and you've kind of will learn also, not just because you have seen some, you've experienced some in a very small percentage of what you have done for the previous group and the company you work for, but are you prepared for these kind of travels?
Yes, not as much as you, but yes, I am. Yes,
Yeah.
I have a very good support system back in Houston. So while I'm gone, of course, Mason is perfectly fine and taken care of.
Yeah. What do you like about traveling?
Exploring different places that I haven't been.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, when someone says, "What do you do now?" How would you explain what you do to someone that has no idea about the welding industry? Hi, PJ. What do you do?
I am a regional sales manager for a manufacturing company
Okay.
in the welding industry.
All right. Cool. And with the with what you did for AIWD, with what you're about to start doing now, and the sky's the limit for you. And on a personal level, I think I've told you this before, but I'll say this now in front of the 2 people that might watch this, right? You have all the qualities that it takes. You're very friendly, you're very professional, and definitely the sky's the limit for you. Whatever you set your mind to, it's going to be up to you, on the knowledge and the follow-ups, follow-throughs, and all that. So I know that I'm lucky to call you a friend and call you a colleague, a peer now. So I'm also very proud of you for many different things, especially for making a decision like you just made, because I know that it means maybe not being the support that you have been for the group, your mom, and all these other things that you have helped with. So I know that, it's a decision that needed some thought, and for whatever reason, you put everything in a balance and you made that decision on your own. So welcome to this side of the table. I'm excited to see you on the field out there and to see what
Me
you're
too.
capable of. And so is everybody else. Where do you see? Where would you like to see yourself in the next 5, 10 years?
Still being in this industry, but having the knowledge that I want to know about everything in this industry, especially with the company that I'm working for.
Cool.
Just to excel.
Cool. And she had to think about that answer. Yeah. What are you into on your personal life? How is PJ outside of any work environment? What are you into?
I mean, of course, just doing stuff, hanging out with Mason, hanging out with friends.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty it. I'm pretty just laid back and chill. Just laid back and chill.
That's not true. That's not true. I can tell you all on private conversations that that's not true. Call me, text me, ask me. I'll tell you. So now let's get. Yeah, well,
I like to eat.
She does like to eat. That is true. But only certain things.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Yes.
So just for those of you that want to get to know PJ even more, she doesn't eat seafood.
Nope.
Right?
Yep,
so
correct.
That out of the way. She'll try things. I'll give her credit. She'll try things, and she'll make 3-4 faces, but she'll try them, and she'll think about it for a while, but she'll try them. So I'll give you credit for that one.
Okay, there we go.
What's your go-to meal when you get back home? Like the one thing that is your comfort food?
There is a certain restaurant where I like to get, it's a Mexican restaurant where I like to get their queso and another green sauce, and that's literally what I do every time I get home.
There is a lot of cheese on the PJ's life, I gotta tell you. It's like every other place we go to, it's like cheese and then whatever else, but cheese, yeah, that's the start of the whole thing. And what's your go-to drink? Adult drink.
Adult drink, wine, Pinot Grigio.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. Again, we got to get to know these people, right, on both the professional and the personal level. Where are you now? Where is it that, because I started the whole thing saying I'm going to let the person tell us where we are. So where are we?
We're in South Bend, Indiana at Notre Dame University.
And why are we here?
For the Gata Regional.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah. All right. Cool. Now, what do you got going on next? Like, where are you going to go next? You have any travels coming up?
So, you and me will be in the Woodlands for the AWS Summit.
Okay.
And then we go to Gata.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. And then FabTech.
Gata. Because where? Like, we're already in Gata here. Like, what do you mean Gata?
Oh, the Northeast Regional in Seaview, New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that is where we go.
All right. And then what was the one after that? You said FabTech.
Yes, but then we have the Gata Annual in Phoenix, Arizona, and then from there we go to FabTech in Orlando.
Correct. And you've never done Gata before prior to this.
Correct.
This is your first Gata regional ever.
Ever.
And now you get to go to another regional, then you get to go to the annual, and then FabTech, which you also have never been there before.
Correct.
And Gata, you probably understand a little bit more because there's some synergy between AIWD and Gata and some stuff, but FabTech, it's really going to be something completely wild for you because now this is all about end users, tools, and all the manufacturers showcasing their product on a different level, on steroids.
Yes.
So I'm excited for you to get all that and all that knowledge because it's going to blow your mind. It always does to everyone. So how much do you know about torches?
Very little.
Were you counting fingers? Were you using?
Very little.
Yeah.
Getting familiar with them. There we go.
I'm just messing with her. She's only 2 weeks in and so much to learn for what she does, and but she's gonna kill it. But again, I told this was going to be short and sweet. This is just kind of like a quick introduction of who PJ is out there. And I'm just honored and grateful that I can, again, call you a friend, now call you a colleague, a peer,
Yes.
and that I get to spend these times traveling with you and kind of getting to know and getting you out there. And you guys are going to see a lot more from PJ out there because I'm going to make sure that happens. And so thank you again, love.
Thank you.
For everything you do, for everything you've done before, for me and people like me on the other side when you were doing the behind stuff. So it was always nice and a pleasure just to work with you and your family.
Thank
and
you.
now I get to kind of steal her from that.
Yep.
Yeah,
We all love you, so.
Yep. So thank you.
You are so welcome.
All right, guys. Well, that's PJ right here with Torch Tales. So you'll get to see her somewhere else, and you know how this works. If they keep saying yes, who am I to say no? So I'll see you somewhere else with somebody else because that's how we do. Torch Tales out. Thank you.
Bye.